Unfortunately, something serious is happening to Generation X, and hardly anyone is talking about it. Nearly 1 in 5 Gen Xers say they have no savings at all, the highest of any generation. Over a third expect the state pension to be their main income in retirement, and an alarming number are already reporting homelessness or being at risk of it. So, how did we get here? Let's start with the basics. Generation X includes those born between 1965 and 1980. They're the group sandwiched between the baby boomers, many of whom are now retired, and millennials who are just beginning to think about retirement. They came of age during a period of massive changes: the decline of traditional pensions or defined benefit pensions, the rise of individual responsibility for retirement saving, multiple recessions, and the early days of tech and globalization. While they witnessed a boom in home ownership and stock market growth, not everyone benefited equally. Let's look at savings. A study by Finder shows that nearly 1 in 5 of Gen Xers have no savings at all. That's the highest percentage of any generation. Even those who do have savings don't have much, averaging just over £15,000. That's not a lot when you consider the rising cost of living, healthcare, and housing. This means a large portion of Gen X is heading towards retirement with little or no financial cushion. And what about pensions? Among Gen X adults with a defined contribution pension, now the most common type, almost 40% have less than £10,000 saved. Just a small fraction have more than £250,000, which is often seen as the minimum needed for retirement for a single person. With defined benefit pensions largely gone, the burden of saving and investing now falls entirely on individuals. Many simply haven't been able to save enough or started too late. That brings us to the state pension. More than 1/3 of non-retirees age 45 plus say they expect the state pension to be their main source of income. This mirrors the experience of 37% of today's retirees. But the reality is, the state pension is just £230 per week. That's not enough to live on, especially without other income sources. Let's put these savings and pension gaps in context with wealth data in the UK. This data shows the average wealth or net worth by age group in the UK. This is the value of all assets minus liabilities. According to data from the Social Mobility Commission, average total wealth for people aged 45 to 54 is £364,000, and it jumps to £575,000 for those aged 55 to 64. Sounds like a lot, but much of that is tied up in property and pensions, and that wealth is far from evenly distributed, with a few outliers skewing the data. Many are still paying off mortgages, and a significant number don't own property at all. So while the averages look healthy, the reality for many Gen Xers is very different, and we're already seeing the effects. Local authority data shows that thousands of people aged 45 to 64 are seeking help for homelessness every year. In just the last quarter of 2024, 15% of those who are homeless or at risk of homelessness were aged 45 to 54. Another 8% were aged 55 to 64. This suggests that many Gen Xers are struggling financially even before retirement. I believe a big part of the problem is that many are being forced to retire before they want to. Data shows that 62% of people retired earlier than planned, often due to long-term illness, caring responsibilities, redundancy, or lack of suitable work. By age 65, nearly half of men and over a third of women were still working. But if they can't work and haven't saved enough, they become reliant on the state or family. If this trend continues, we could see a wave of older people facing drastic drops in living standards, higher dependency on the state, and rising levels of poverty and homelessness among retirees. Whether you're Gen X or not, this is a wake-up call. We need to start saving earlier and saving more. A popular framework is the 50-30-20 rule. Spend 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and save 20% of your income. But if that feels like too much, start smaller, but start. Even saving £100 a month consistently can change your future. And it's not just saving, we need to get better at investing too. A recent study found that 1 in 5 UK adults who do not currently invest say they do not know what to invest in. 1 in 4 think investing is too complicated, and 4 in 10 think it's just too risky. We can't let fear or confusion hold us back. Retirement planning isn't just for the wealthy, it's for anyone who wants peace of mind later in life. Our schools didn't teach us this stuff, but it's never too late to learn and start setting and working towards your your retirement goals. If you found this helpful, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear it. Let me know in the comments, what generation are you in and how are you planning for retirement? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.